Okay. Hi everyone. Today I'm very pleased to be here with Jill, a fellow FES user, to have a short discussion about FES as users of the technology and how it's helped us. So first of all, I'll start with understanding a bit about Jill and what she uses it for. So Jill, what condition do you have and what does FES help you to do functionally?
Okay, so I have multiple sclerosis and I have foot drops, so that causes obviously my walking to be a bit ungainly. So the FES helps with that. It lifts my heel up, so it makes me walk more normally, really.
Okay. So lift your heel up. That's interesting.
Well, it's not so much lift your heel. No, I described that wrong. It lifts your toes, which makes your heel go down. I
Oh,
said it
okay.
wrong.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
lifts you from the ankle and lifts your toes up, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it lifts your toes. Your heel goes down, and then you have a more normal walk.
Okay, thank you. That's great. I'm very similar in what it's doing for me. So again, I'm using mine in walking, and I've got a brain injury induced by a stroke in February 2024.
Okay.
But I have used electrical stimulation throughout my recovery. But functional electrical stimulation, where you use it in an actual task, is by far the most useful use I've had of it, really. Okay. So how did you first find out about functional electrical stimulation?
I went to the MS nurse and she said to me, she says, you know, your walking needs to be corrected. And so she put me through to Sheffield, Northern General at Sheffield, and they fitted me with this.
Okay. So it's an NHS provided device.
It is, yes.
Okay. And before that, had you been using a foot orthotic?
I hadn't used anything. No.
Oh, okay.
But I could trip and fall quite well before that, to be fair.
Okay.
So it's solved that problem. I do still trip, but not to the extent that I did before, and I don't have the falls that I had before either.
Brilliant. Well done. So what FES device do you use?
Right, it's this little gadget here.
Ah, I know that well.
Which is, go on, you tell me what it is. It's a ODFS PACE.
Yeah, by Oddstock Medical. And is that the one with the remote, the foot switch that's wireless, or is it the wired foot switch?
It's wired, mine.
Okay. I'll talk a bit about that at the end.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. And you've told us where you got it, so that's brilliant. So I won't ask that question. So you've already told us a bit about the benefits. Were you offered any alternatives when you went to see the MS nurse, like an orthotic, or did they go straight to FES for you?
We went straight to FES.
Wow, that's amazing.
Which I am really grateful for, because I realise it's not everybody that gets the chance of having it. So it's, you know, it's good.
No, it's still a relatively rare solution in terms of the NHS offering it. I think you've got to have a physio or a nurse who's got the knowledge that it exists and how it can help. Certainly my GP was amazed by it. They'd never really heard of it till I walked into the GP surgery one day and she said, "Wow, your walking's good, isn't it?" And then I said, "Well, you referred me to the FES clinic, didn't you? And it's been brilliant." And that was all because my community OT had sent them a letter saying, "Can you refer Matt to the FES clinic at University College London Hospital?"
Right.
And they had done, but they'd done that without even knowing what the technology was or how it could work.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
It is. But lucky.
Okay. So what do you find is the most difficult element of using FES on a daily basis? And what techniques have you developed to deal with these factors?
The most difficult part of it is the wires and where to put the actual little gadgets, because
The
it's
electrodes, yeah.
The electrodes obviously are in the place, and that's fine. I don't mind them being seen. I don't mind people seeing any of it. It just doesn't bother me. But if you're wearing things like jeans, then cut a little hole in the pocket, slip them in your pocket, and then thread the wires up your leg, which is fine. But when a dress is another thing altogether, because then you've got nowhere to put the units. So, you know, I've found many different ways to do things, but yeah, I think shoes are difficult with it as well. You know,
Yeah.
if you wear a full shoe like Doc Martens, that kind of thing, or trainers, then it's easy to get the
Yeah.
the foot switch in your shoe, and that's fine. But when it comes to sandals, then that's more difficult because it actually has to be stuck to a sandal, because you can't put the foot
Where the switches, you have to, yeah.
can't put the switch, sorry, in there. So yeah.
What I've got that the UCL recommended is an insole with it stuck to the insole. So I can just move that insole between shoes then.
Yeah, now
It's a
I've
very
got
thin
that.
one. But
Yeah, I do have that, a cork insole,
yes.
but as I say, it works with a full shoe. But when you've got things like sandals, or you know,
Okay. Yeah.
it's difficult because it's not held in. So then you've
Got
still
you.
got to stick
Yeah.
it somehow. And I think it's easier for men.
Yes. I
If
think
I'm
that's a
honest.
fair observation. It is easier for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know this is a loaded question. I know you've got a fascinating technique about how you've dealt with that electrode placement challenge. So how have you done that? Tell us a bit about that, Jill.
So I was having problems with the placement of it, and I kept it was taking me a long time to get the placement right, and it annoyed me so much. So I made a decision to have tattoos. So I went to the hospital for my checkup, and I got them to place it in the best place that they could, and they did that. And now I've got 8 little dots, which are for the corners of the electrodes, and pretty much it's a game changer, because it's usually not every day. Sometimes it's slightly different, but usually it's just place them between the dots and go.
Yeah. Yeah, it does vary a little bit with the age of the electrodes, doesn't it? And the charge of the battery and things like that, and your skin, whether your skin is moist and well hydrated that day or whatever. So yeah, there are
Yes.
lots of little variables that you get to learn can affect how effectively it works in terms of, because you need your foot not just to lift your toes, you also need it to push your foot out a little bit to stabilize your ankle, don't you?
You do, yeah. So obviously it depends whether you have it sort of to the right or to the left, whether it kicks your ankle one way or helps your
Yes.
ankle go the other way. So it's, yeah. But yeah, pretty much it's been a game changer.
Brilliant.
Loving
I must admit, I have been tempted to do that, but recently I've had a breakthrough on placement and I've suddenly got better based on using some new anatomical landmarks, which is how they tell you to do it.
Yeah.
In the clinics. So I seem to be a bit better at it at the moment. I don't know why. I'm also using they sent me a different type of pad, a different brand with a different sort of structure, and that seems to be a bit easier for me to get in the right place. I don't know why.
Okay. Because I've tried sort of the grey ones and the blue ones, the
Okay.
pads. I don't like the blue ones very much, but the grey ones are the ones that I tend to use.
Yeah, the black grey ones are the ones I've always used before. These are sort of semi-transparent with a very clear gel on them. So Yeah, there are lots of variables that you have to get used to.
Well, yeah.
So, is there anything else you'd like to reflect on about using FES and how it's helped you?
Not really. Other than it just makes my walking look normal.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm very grateful that they've let me have the chance of using this. I do think that sounds very interesting. No wires, because the wires are a bit of a pain.
Yeah. I mean, you still have the wire to the electrodes, but the wire to the foot
Mm.
switch can be removed.
Okay, yeah, that's okay, because that's the one that sort of is awkward. I
Yeah.
kind of use a plaster to sort of stick it in place usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Okay. So has it increased the speed of your walking as well?
Um, I don't think so, not really, because I don't think I particularly walked slower, just different.
Okay.
So yeah, so I don't think it's increased
But
the
it does
speed.
make you feel less self-conscious, doesn't it? Because your gait, or my gait, is much more normal when I'm wearing the FES.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. And the first time that I wore it, I remember going down the street and I had some shoes on that made a noise, and I could hear the normal click 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 rather than click plod, which I normally
Yeah.
had. And it was quite nice. Like, oh, I like the
Yeah.
click click.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jill. That's absolutely brilliant.
No problem.
And yeah, I'll edit this up in the coming weeks and then get it up for people to
Okay.
watch. And I'll share it with Oddstock as well, who make your device, so that
Okay.
they can see it. Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. That's brilliant.
So, can I just say one thing? If
Yeah.
this isn't live, then
Oh,
don't be
no.
ready. No, right. Can I just say one thing, man? I'll just tell you. Can you see this here? I don't know if you can see it properly.
Yeah.
This has got like a little pocket. So you put this on your leg. You put a little pocket. You put this
Your
inside of
device
it.
in the pocket. Okay.
But they've made it, and it has no hole in the bottom. So you have to put a hole in it to put your wires through, which seems a bit of a strange thing. But they gave me that. But they've
And
also
that's
given me
from Oddstock, is it?
that's from Sheffield, from the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know where they get them from. But then there's also this little gadget, which you put the unit in here, and then
Yeah.
that goes around your leg.
Yeah, I've
But
got one of those. Well, I've got one of those with the belt clip.
with the what, sorry?
I've got one of those that's got a belt clip on the back, so you can just clip it to your belt
Ah,
or the
right,
top of your trousers.
yeah, I
It's
do
not
have
got a
one.
neat band like that.
Yeah, this thing here, just if you take this off, I can't take it off at the moment, but that has a belt clip on it, just that part
Yes.
there. But the only thing that I find with these is they're too small. So
Oh, okay.
I've not got particularly huge legs. I've certainly got chunky legs, but not massive. But this one is tight. If it goes, it's okay if it goes at the bottom of my leg, if it goes under my knee. But if I want it to sort of be covered up by my dress, then it's too
Yeah.
tight. And this one will only go under my knee as well. And I'm like, I think then I can't be the biggest person that's wearing these.
So they need to supply it with a longer length of Velcro, don't they? That you can then cut down if you've got
It
a.
do, well, it's all neatly edged, so you could. I don't think you'd cut it down. It's quite
Oh,
nice. That
okay.
so it's a good piece of kit. They're both good, but just sort of I've got the biggest one that they do, and it's like it's just not big enough. And I'm like, that's not ideal, is it really? As I
No.
say, there must be other people who have this same problem.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, on
And
our little functional electrical stimulator Facebook group,
mhm,
I know there's been discussions in the past about the challenges that women have with finding locations that are unobtrusive when they're wearing the FES with a dress, for instance. So
yeah,
it is the one thing that I think the providers need to look at making them more wearable for women.
Yeah, I have took part in a study that was done at Sheffield last time that I went, and that was asking what barriers there are to wearing things, and what's and I did say on that it's difficult in dresses in hot weather. It's difficult because you've got to wear jeans or something to sort of have somewhere to put it. As I say, I put it down my bra before now. But
I'll tell you what though, your idea about cutting the corner out of a pocket, I'm going to be using that one. That's absolute genius. I'd never thought of that.
Haven't you? Oh, just a tiny little hole at the bottom.
Yeah.
Poke the wires through. I've got some jeggings, and they don't have any pockets at the front. And I got a pocket from another pair of jeans, and I sewed it inside on the waistband. And so I used that as the pocket to put it inside there, and then cut a little hole. Can you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's perfect.
So yeah, so that's quite an idea. But I do think that you've got to have a pair of scissors.
You've got to hack your way around these little challenges, haven't you? But it's worth it. For me, it's worth it because the difference is so dramatic, and it's strengthened my ankle so much.
Really?
That on the days that I don't have time to wire it up, I can use my ankle and foot orthotic again, which was completely pointless for me because my ankle was rolling outwards, and I would have just fallen if I'd continued to do it. But because of the FES, it strengthened my ankle so that I can also wear the AFO. Because the only disadvantage for me is if I go anywhere with security, I don't know if you found this, they get a bit scared of somebody with a box on their hip and wires down their leg, which is understandable.
When I've been on holiday, I've never taken it on holiday, even though I've got a letter that says what it is, because I just think, you've got this box, it's got wires, it's got a battery. Do people know what it is? And will, going to somewhere like, I don't know, Tunisia, places like that, will they think she's going to try bombing us?
Yeah.
If they have no knowledge of it, but I don't know. So I've never tried it abroad.
Yeah, I don't think I'd worry about it in my case, but I wouldn't wear it going through the security gate, certainly. And when I wore it to the Lord's cricket ground last year, it did cause a bit of excitement amongst the security guards.
It did.
So next year when I go, I'll be wearing my foot orthotic because that's just a piece of plastic essentially.
Yeah. It's
I hope we haven't put everybody off by having that conversation, but I'll edit it right down anyway.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Lovely meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, take care then.
Bye now.
Bye.